Over here.
Microphone stand's breaking.
Oh, do they?
Not this one. This
Had
one.
somebody been saying that for a while?
This one go through an earthquake.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah, just make sure. 1, 2, 3, let's go.
You're listening to Oilers Nation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Thank you very much, Lisa. Oilers Nation Radio on a Friday afternoon. There's a preseason game on Sunday. Oh my Lord, we're right there.
And then there's one on Monday.
And Tuesday.
The Coyotes play 5 this weekend.
Well, the Coyotes don't have ice to play on.
Well,
do you guys see
maybe
that?
4. Yes.
The Coyotes practice got cancelled because the ice wasn't in good enough condition.
Rod Laver.
Like, can't they just go to like a community rink?
That's where they were. They were in like a community rink.
No. That was
They're
Rod
in
Laver.
Australia, aren't
That's
they?
Rod Laver.
They're in
Australia?
That's Rod Laver Arena.
I want to talk about that after the Australia thing, because my boy Dukes on Better Late Than Never was talking about the ticket prices to go see the Coyotes and the
There'll be
Kings.
NHL prices for sure.
No, they're jacked up, dude. It's
they're like
special event
thousands.
pricing.
Thousands.
Yeah, like what we're gonna pay to go watch the outdoor game.
No.
Yeah.
No, even more than that.
Like
Because it's not that many
where you're
seats.
sitting at the outdoor game. I
That's
suppose.
true. But this is inside Rod Laver Arena, where they hold the Australian Open. So this is where they usually play tennis.
Really?
They're playing hockey
Really?
there. Yes.
Well, no wonder there's puddles.
Yes, that would be the issue. But I read online that the discourse in Australia is that all their arenas are like that. So it's kind of just the Australian experience for hockey.
Figure it out, Australia. Come on, man.
They're never getting a team at this rate.
They're never going to get an expansion team now.
California is going to get its 4th team before Australia gets its 1st. Think about
it. Think about it. Just putting that out there. Oilers Nation Radio, first time in a while, the gang's been back together.
We have not done a pod with the 5 of us, I think, in like over a month.
I was gone. You were gone. Dan was gone.
Dan was gone. Rick's always here.
I've always been.
Yeah, Rick's
Rick, get out a little
No,
bit.
you had that one golf.
I get like sudden. I'll be like, at 11 o'clock, I'll be sorry, boys, I can't make it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Something came up.
Yeah, but you got to go on vacation. See the world a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
What kind of like?
Where do you want them to go?
Anyway, don't go to Paris.
Oilers Nation Radio, as we do every week, we kick it off with the delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle. If you are in Edmonton, go get yourself a free Oilers Nation sticker at any of the locations. If you're down at Calgary, the new one in Beacon Hill is going to be opening up by the end of the month. You're welcome, Calgary. We have to do everything for you, include feed you. We don't want to do it, but here we are. Delicious debate today is what?
It's my job to come up with this,
Mm-hmm.
and I have done it.
And
Today's delicious debate, it's the start of the preseason on Sunday, and we want to know what everyone's biggest preseason storyline is.
oh, come on. Is this the debate though?
Yeah. What's the biggest preseason storyline?
Then you go first.
Brandon Sutter.
Oh,
All right.
that was
Long
mine.
COVID, but he could be the new long Derek Ryan.
Did you see Ken?
I would like
Holland's- Ken Holland's quote on him really made me laugh.
What was
he said, so Brandon Sutter, bear in mind, 34, hasn't played in the NHL in 2 years. And he said, if he can find any of his game from when he was 27, 28, he's got a shot of making this team.
How long ago was that?
That is Tyler.
6 years ago.
6
Oh
years
my
ago.
goodness.
But
Yeah, but
think about all the people you could say that sentence about. If they
Like,
could
it's a
bring
valid point.
you could
Is he
bring in
wrong?
It's a great
Gretzky
point.
and he finds his 28-year-old self, you could argue exactly what the Oilers need.
Mm-hmm.
Third line center.
Is that our game plan for this year? Is trying to find everybody's 26 and 27?
Well, I think
No,
that's why
the
we
whole,
brought
that's the whole
Sam
point.
Gagner
Of,
back
that's
too.
the whole point of PTOs, though.
Oh yeah, for
Yep.
sure.
I think even for
funny way of
players
displaying
younger
it,
than
though.
that, I think McDavid's got to try to find his 28-year-old for him this year.
It's a weird way of putting it though.
Just say if he can find any of his game before he had COVID for 2
All right.
years.
If he's good, he might make the team. It also works.
There you go.
Bold.
I think you will.
But like, again, jokes aside, if
There's a spot.
Brandon Sutter can come in, be a big body, right shot, penalty killing fourth line centerman who wins draws, that is like a pretty big hole in the Oilers lineup right now. So he would be exactly what they need. So
Would
I
that
am
not-
really intrigued. Like if he is in shape and has ability, like he's an interesting guy to watch.
That would kind of put an end to the Disney story we kind of have in PTO land right now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but Sam Gagner, like,
I
Right?
think
No,
he's-
I don't just that would if Sutter comes up and does what Holland wants him to, then that kind of means Sam. There really isn't a spot for Sam. I don't know. I
Starting in Bako.
I think Liam Peterson's a a full-time AHLer at that point. I think that's kind of where Drake's going to be starting the year anyways. So,
Oh yeah,
Kajula's really fallen out of the conversation.
Was he ever in the conversation?
I think he was until Gagne signed, and it was like, okay, we don't need you anymore, Kajula. We got Gagne now.
you know what?
They're telling
Honestly,
the
where
story.
I come from, those guys, Lane Peterson was a maybe.
Mhm.
Outside of that, I thought it was all hopes and dreams. I really didn't have a lot of belief that any of those guys were going to do anything.
Jim Matheson on September 19th. I'm pretty sure this is the real one.
The weather
Can
guy?
never be sure. He says Sam Gagne, who had surgery on both of his hips, will practice in camp but won't play in any games. On PTO, he'll be evaluated in a month and might go down to Bakersfield.
Might.
Probably will.
Didn't they say the other day that like, yeah, the plan's to get him up and running down there sort of thing?
That's my bet.
Isn't that what they did with Jason Demers last year?
Yeah. And then
Yeah,
he
but he
played,
didn't
and then he
come on-
played
he
that
wa-
one game and just threw a pizza up the middle and like, that was it.
Yeah, but he got his game 600 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have the same type of schedule as him though, because I feel like he
No.
was up here kind of like hanging out doing not a whole lot, but
That's cool though. That's
the
what I
dream.
like to do. I get
That's
paid
the-
to do it, not a whole lot.
That's the Mark Fain way.
Fucking right.
buddy, that was a good dude there.
I watched that guy cut a rug one time. It was right after a loss, mind you, so I was a little upset that he was dancing, but whatever.
Hey, work is work.
Man, those guys. So I was in the 2017 playoff drive. I remember we were in like triple overtime, double overtime, or something like that in the intermission, and like 5 of the Black Aces decided to come at that point. I was like, were you guys watching the rest of this game? They just come strolling in between. I was like, hold on, I like it.
And then a certain thing happened that we won't say, and then there's Mark Fain having a boogie.
Yeah.
It's a rough time.
Anyways,
Dan, what do you got? Biggest storyline for preseason training camp, whatever you want to say.
To answer your question, Tyler, I think the thing that the storyline I'm looking forward to most is just how our wingers respond. Overall, I think that you've got Dylan Holloway, you've got Connor Brown, we've spliced in Lane Pedersen and Sam Gagne and Drake Kajula as all being in that mix. So I just think you're going to see some effectiveness from these forwards. They're going to be moving around their line mates as well. So yeah, I'm looking for winger depth.
Rick, we
winger
got
excitement.
It's the 2 young kids.
Which ones?
It's Holloway and Slavois.
Mhm.
I think if those guys can come in and grab a spot, it kind of pushes out some of the older guys. That's who I'm even watching.
For me, it's kind of who's going to steal a job. There's always somebody
There's
that
not a lot of jobs to be stolen.
I know there's 1, maybe 2 jobs available.
Yeah.
Can somebody come in and take one? Can somebody come in, a rookie or Brandon Sutter, if he can channel his 21-year-old self, if he can come in and steal someone's job, that's what I'm watching for. Because for the most part, everything else is set.
You just got me laughing now. Like, why did we draw the line at 27, 28 for Sutter?
Well, it's pretty
21,
much 20.
19?
I'm trying
Well, I probably wasn't a very
Well, you didn't have
round
enough
player.
experience
Yeah,
yet.
exactly.
You want to have a couple of years in the show, a little bit of
Mhm.
experience, some at bats, you know?
Okay, so Brandon Sutter is currently 34.
Go ahead.
So in his 28-year-old year,
Mm-hmm.
that was last year he missed it. So then it's 32, 31, 30, 29, 28. In his 28-year-old year,
Uh-huh.
he had a career season
That's the best
with
part.
the Vancouver Canucks.
Kenny knew it was up.
81 games played, 17 goals, 34 points,
I'll take that.
minus 20.
Well,
That's not a good
We
stat.
don't look at the plus minus as much anymore. You know?
Only
No,
use
what
plus
is it?
minus when it fits your
What
narrative.
did
True.
yeah, exactly. What did the team look like back then?
the only
And
minuses I care about come with a green jacket.
the Canucks finished with a 30, 43, and 9 record under
Probably.
Willie Desjardins.
Well, we are so back. Like, we haven't been together to do a pod, the 5 in a while. We're back.
Yeah. There you go.
Brandon Sutter scored more goals than Hendrik Sedin that season.
I'm just saying,
Just saying.
if
I'm
a
down.
player
Brandon Sutter
has-
greater than Henrik Sedin. That's what we're saying.
if a player has their career year, they might make the team.
Mhm.
That's the line we're setting.
Listen, if he can just figure out how to get back there, you know,
And show it in the preseason in like
Let's turn
3
it back.
games.
What
I
else
want
we
the
got?
reruns.
What else do we have
Um,
for preseason storylines?
Mine is Philip Broberg is my storyline.
I love
to
that
watch.
one. That was the one I was debating doing. Good one.
Well,
You were debating
my
yourself
other
in the
one was
delicious
Brandon
debate.
Sutter. So yeah, Philip Broberg. Can he become a top 4 defenseman? I feel like there's a spot on that right side he can take if he's able to adjust a little bit.
He only needs to be a top 6 defender this season.
For sure, but I think the others wanting to be a top 4
100%,
defenseman.
but let's
I think-
baby steps
Sure.
here.
Can he be an everyday NHLer? I guess.
There you
is
go.
the
There you go.
question,
There
isn't
you
it?
go.
I think he can be, and I think the Oilers are good enough that they should be able to experiment with Broberg for longer and push CC down the lineup and then take it to the deadline and kind of see what happens.
Yesterday, I was doing my hit on Sports 1440 with Low Tide, and he asked what I thought about these D pairings. So I'm going to ask you, Liam, because you brought up Philip Broberg. He had Nurse Bouchard, Ekholm Broberg, Kulak CC. And then Vinny's the extra guy.
Well, Kulak CC.
Yeah,
I think
Kulak
that's
CC.
actually how I would roll it. I think Nurse can be a responsible player with Bouchard, and if it kind of goes crazy, then it is what it is, and you can change it around. But Ekholm will make Broberg better, and I think Kulak would make CC better. Plus, CC was hurt most of the season by all reports, so maybe CC comes back and has a good year. I would split up Nurse and CC though. That's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my number one.
There you have it. The delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle. If you have thoughts, your biggest storylines coming into the preseason, hit us up, Owen Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. Tyler is dialed in. He is not paying attention to the show he is on. We are back, baby.
I wanted to see the videos of Coyotes practice.
What are they like playing out in the street in front of
It was,
the arena or what?
It was
Car!
Just players.
We got those big rubber boots on that you used to have to wear in elementary school when it got rainy. So you got those on.
Of course.
Why not?
Sears catalog pads.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a show.
That's the show.
R.I.P.
I
Sears.
said that's a shout.
R.I.P. Sears. Gone but never forgotten.
Are they all gone? I don't think they're all gone.
I think they're all gone.
Western
they're all
Canada,
gone.
yes. I don't think they're all gone.
Is Sears closed?
Like
Shout
Sears,
out Woolco.
what's that? Isn't it Sears Tower in like?
Yeah.
But that's,
All
Different
that's
Sears.
Not, that's not the same Sears. Yeah.
Oh.
Sears shut all of their stores. The final store closed in January 14th, 2018.
2018.
That
Part of
long
me died
ago.
that day.
Wow. Brandon Sutter had 17 goals that year.
So if Brandon Sutter can turn it back to when Sears was dominant,
That's how Kenny should be saying it from now on, arguably.
yeah, like
If we could just
can
go back to when Sears was running the department store show.
Mhm. And the wish book was something that every kid looked forward to.
Straight up.
That's all we needed.
Yeah.
You know, hit us up. Owen Radio Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. I want to tell you guys about Century Mile Racetrack and Casino. Join the Oilers Nation team at Century Mile Racetrack on September 29th at 6 p.m. to enjoy a free day at the track. Hang out with Oilers Nation's crew, win some prizes, and enjoy some horse racing. Listen, I am excited to bet on some ponies. I like the plastic ponies in Vegas. I bet on them as if I know what's doing. Why not do it with real horses?
We had success betting on the plastic ponies.
These are the facts.
In a sense, real horses should be more predictable.
Should be
Yep.
understandable.
So what you're saying is money in our pockets.
Easy.
And there's going to be a heat in the race that is Oilers Nation themed.
So where we all have to run.
It's
The
like
horses
that-
get on our backs and we have to run.
No, it's a 4x100, but then you race a horse.
Ah,
Oh, that's the what's that guy's name? He did
Don-
you raced a horse.
Really?
I'm trying to think of who it was.
Ben
The
Johnson.
sprinter.
No, it wasn't.
No, it's
Ben
the
Johnson.
Canadian
It's
sprinter.
Nathan. not
Donovan
Nathan,
Bailey.
Not Donovan Bailey, the other one.
DeGrassi.
Ben Johnson.
Not
Bruni Cern.
Ben Johnson.
now we're getting
I
closer.
think it's Ben Johnson.
Isn't he?
Bruni Cern. Who else was
Sprinter,
the part of the
Olympics.
The one that got
Ben-
canceled? The one that got that
Donovan
was
Bailey,
cheating.
Bruni Cern?
He he got accused of steroids.
Pretty sure it's Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Ben Johnson then.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
you're
he
right.
no, he 100% did cheat and he's admitted it. Everybody
Everybody
else
did.
in the
Ben
race.
Johnson.
Everybody
the
else in the
American
race.
guy's name. I was
Everybody did.
confusing Ben Johnson with the American guy.
The
Carl
one
Lewis.
that Carl Lewis. and
Another one that
bad
raced
at-
Donovan Bailey.
Very bad at singing. Michael Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Oh, so
there you go.
How could
the
you get
Johnson
that
and
confused?
Johnsons, you know?
Yeah.
I keep them mixed up. There you
Anyways, we're going to have a lot of fun at the horse track. And if you're listening to this,
go. What a plug.
I forgot what we were
if
doing
you're
there.
listening to this, you're invited. It is a free day at the ponies. We're going to put some money down. Liam and I are going to be doing a special edition of ON Every Day live from the event. So you'll get to see us doing that as well if you want to see that. And then we're going to bet on some ponies, and there'll be one that's Oilers Nation themed. What that entails, we actually don't know, but they've told us there's an Oilers Nation theme.
They're
I
renaming
think
all
we are-
the horses Tyler Yaremchuk.
I personally think we should pit our staff against each other
I
in a,
think so.
in a street race.
Next Friday, 5:30 start, 5:30, 6 o'clock start in that range.
6 o'clock start.
6 o'clock start.
What day?
Friday.
Friday the 29th, 6 p.m. Come enjoy a free day at the track. Oilers Nation at Century Mile Racetrack and Casino.
Hang out with me.
Maybe in the
That's
casino
convincing.
afterward.
See where the night takes us.
Airport's right there
Maybe.
too.
What, go for a drink?
Could do
Go to
whatever you
Vegas.
want. Chili's.
Keep the party going.
Go to the
Boarding
Chili's?
pass, just come for the chili.
Yeah. It's the only one you around here, you know? R.I.P. Chili's. Mm-hmm.
If Chili's could go back to its 2018 form,
Yeah,
Multiple locations.
I could get a freckled lemonade anywhere.
we would have Chili's back.
Getting back to the Oilers, training camp did kick off this week. The boys are back in town. We got some quotes. We got some players. A little bit banged up. Mattias Ekholm is battling a hip flexor issue. In his own words, he said it is not an issue or a serious issue, more of a maintenance thing. Ryan McLeod also out, hopefully not for too long. Any concern about those boys being a little nicked up before we get going?
No. If Mattias Ekholm's injury was that bad, they would not have told us what he was injured with. They would have just said lower body injury. Right?
Nah, I think you're too early into the season. You're not into it enough.
Too early to be
If there was an
I
issue,
think so, because have they told us what McLeod did?
Birthday.
Sure, he was.
he was at Chuck E. Cheese all day.
That is a
My
big
bad.
day.
So that's the difference.
New team
McLeod,
policy.
there's
you
no
get-
update,
Yeah.
right, of what he's done. But Ekholm is on maintenance with a hip flexor.
Not that I'm totally agreeing with you on this, but I am more concerned about the McLeod thing than the Ekholm thing. Not that I'm like panicked about either, but McLeod was banged up for a good chunk of last year.
He was.
You would hate for this year to follow the same thing, and then we got to start having
All of his summertime videos look like he was walking just fine.
So then what happened?
Upper
I don't know
body.
if he wants to tell anybody.
Chuck E. Cheese gets intense, man.
Could be
Yeah.
birthday related. My point is, if he has another injury riddled season, then we got to have the conversation of like,
Don't
is he
talk into it
abandoned?
existence.
Okay, sorry.
Actually, I say that now because I watched it. It was day one, or it was Monday Night Football, the very first one, and Aaron Rodgers was having his interview with whatever the tennis player there, McEnroe, John McEnroe.
Yep.
Anyways, McEnroe was like, he's a big Jets fan. He started asking like, "Hey man, like what about this?" And Aaron Rodgers like, "Man, why would you even like talk that into existence? Like everything's gonna go.
Everything went well that night, though,
It's
right?
gonna go fine, like blah blah blah. And Matt was like, okay, like I'm just like a PTSD long term Jets fan. Like I'm sorry.
You're right.
And
Nothing
Aaron
big to
Rodgers
go
like, don't worry about it. And later on that night, we all know what happened. So
20 minutes later, we know what happened.
Way to go, McEnroe.
yeah.
Put it in
Don't-
his head.
Don't
you're
talk
saying
this
Tyler
stuff out
just-
there.
So you're saying Tyler just damned McLeod to
An injury riddled season.
But how do we combat that now? If Tyler's putting it out there, we have to grab it and put it back in our
What's
pockets.
the ceiling for goals for McLeod this year? I'll say 24.
I predicted, I think, a 20-goal season for McLeod.
I think he plays 83 games. He's gonna be so healthy.
Oh my
They're going to
goodness.
trade him at the deadline and he's going to play more because he goes to another team.
He's gonna lend him out to a team for keep his legs fresh.
What's your goal prediction?
23.
Dan?
I guess I'm lower on the totem pole. I'll say like 17.
I picked 20 because last year, 11 goals, 57 games, paced around 18, something like that. I think you can do it.
Yeah,
Got to stay healthy, though. That's what we're talking about right now.
We still had some times last year where the secondary scoring was a little bit kind of disappears. So I don't think you'll
Yeah.
see that as much this year. And I
I
think
hope
you'll
not.
see his line there, that third line, I think is going to have an opportunity this year to have put up a lot of offense.
I hope so, because we know Connor and Leon are going to do Connor and Leon things. But fuck, would it be great if in the moments when they're not or can't, which isn't often, that they just get propped up a little bit.
And to be fair, the bottom six last year, or I should even just say the Oilers with 97 and 29 off the ice last year, they did a good job of like kind of breaking even plus in some areas. Like they were better than breaking even. But at the same time, maybe it could get cranked up a notch, like you said.
Yeah, that's all.
Maybe you're scoring even more, and maybe you're a
I'd
bit
like
more
to
of a strength.
be, instead of just breaking even,
Yeah.
let's be in the green a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still remember times where it was like, Fogel couldn't buy a goal or Clouder couldn't.
Listen, bold
there's still
prediction
those
of the
times.
year, Warren Fogle, breakaway goal. One of them.
Opening night.
I thought you were going more bold than that.
that is bold.
That is bold.
Still
How
pretty
dare you.
bold.
That
But I
is
thought you were
bold.
going to say like game 1, period 1, like just calling it.
Oh, could
right
you
off.
imagine?
Yeah.
First shift of the game,
First
game
goal.
1 in the opener, breakaway goal. He just buries it, and everyone's like, I
Season
did
start.
it.
Plan
I'd be
the
so
parade.
happy.
Yep.
I'd be thrilled.
So last year with both McDavid and Draisaitl off the ice at 5-on-5, the Oilers outscored the opposition by 14. So maybe we should set a goal of like, let's outscore them by like 24 this year.
Damn it, I'm in.
Get better by 10 goals.
I like
Are we
it.
going to chart this?
Sure.
Somebody's got to chart it. Not going to be me.
We got room on the wall here somewhere.
We should get a
need a big
scoreboard
white
like
paper.
that
I have a whiteboard at home.
Things
that keeps
to
track of
watch
Draisaitl and McDavid goals.
this season.
Everyone else.
Well, it doesn't keep
Oilers,
track of anything yet, but we can,
Well, that's what we need to do.
we can do what we got to do.
I was coming up with
Just
the
gotta-
idea, Liam, on the fly.
Blank canvas, primed for creativity.
I'll
Yeah.
bring it in. It's got a stand too, so we can.
Wow.
Where's the sliding door where we kept the
Oh,
the
yeah.
Lucci
Oh,
one
yeah,
on?
yeah.
Just
We
bring
go
that
steal
in.
that from Little Brick.
Yeah.
We'll just
I
haul
used
that over here.
All of our company plans used to show up in the back of every one of our photos.
And that is true. That is true.
Who thought putting the planning wall right behind the content team
I
was
still
a good
think it was a good
idea?
idea.
Yeah, it's fine. Worked out.
I finished off my 10-part series today on the site.
Yes, you did.
About 10 storylines I'm watching this year. And my final one, I kind of talked about how I think this is going to be a really boring regular season for Oilers fans. Like, I just
How
think
so?
the team should be very, very good. And if
That's
they
not
go,
boring to me.
no, but I mean, from the perspective of like, they're going to win 50 games this year. McDavid and Draisaitl should be great again this year. Like, it should almost be a carbon copy of last year's regular season. And I feel like this regular season will be a lot of kind of like itching, like, oh, can we get to the playoffs already? Can we just get to the playoffs already?
I'm quite okay with that.
I was thinking.
I'm
about
fine with that
this
too.
morning.
It's totally fine. Like,
I
I think
am
it's
gonna
okay
be-
that it's going to be boring.
Because I would much rather that than being with Rick and say mid-November and be like, fuck, I can't wait to get to the draft.
Yeah, I know we start watching the dub again.
Yeah.
Not great.
We win 50 games and Connor and Leon do that stuff. I am going to be insufferable
Oh, yeah. 100%.
to people that, well, some people that like this team and a lot that don't.
I cannot wait.
But anyways, I was just going to say, I think it'd be fun to maybe set some benchmarks of things we're really watching for to stay engaged all year. So one of them, I wrote it down. Oilers outscore the opposition by 24 goals with 97 and 29 off the ice.
I like
There's
it.
one. Maybe we'll just keep workshopping these on the next few pods. Things we're keeping an eye on.
All right, I
Maybe
like
we should
that.
put a number on how many units we want to be up by the end of the year.
Ooh.
Hey, if you think it's going to be a boring regular season, I got an idea on how we spice it up a little bit.
Yeah, puck line every night.
Wasn't that your plan last year going against Arizona and it worked for like the first
It really
quarter of
did
the
for the
season?
first.
And then
I
it
don't know how
really
much
kind
money I
of
made.
Yeah, I had to quit
disappeared a
that.
bit.
I don't know how much money we made on those, but I wasn't betting enough, especially in October.
Oh, buddy, that's when you just sprinkle those in for the parlays.
I think that might be
Mm,
Chicago
real nice.
this year early on. I think people are, and the books even to an extent, are going to be a little too enamored with Connor Bedard early in the year. Betway, I'm telling you right now, betting against the Hawks puck line every night.
All right. There you
Puck
go.
line too.
Aggressive right to the
Take-
camera
yeah.
and everything.
They
To the
lost, they
jugular.
lost a first line player, didn't they?
Ooh.
Jujar's over in Minnesota now.
Oh yeah.
Is he?
Yeah,
Man, I missed so
last
much.
I heard, anyways.
I checked out completely when I was on vacay. I've missed a lot. Happens.
That's fair.
You know?
Keeps the new season fresh for you when you look at training
bit.
camp rosters and you see these
Little bit.
names that you just didn't know were there.
New friends all over the place. The other news that came out this week is the Edmonton Oilers announced that Michael Parkatti has been hired as the Senior Director of Data and Analytics. The thing I like about it is the day before the announcement, Jeff Jackson was on the Jason Greger show, and he was talking about what analytics are going to mean to the Oilers, and it was all I wanted to hear because he said it's just another tool of evaluation that has to go in concert with watching the players, getting reads on them, and actually watching the games. I love that. There's no salary cap on what you do with management, so why not build an analytics team? And why not get a guy who is a massive Oilers fan, one of the OGs in the space? He developed the XGF stat that we all know and love.
Really?
He did.
Damn. Good for Michael Parkatti.
I don't know if I really like that one.
I don't really either, but good for him still.
I don't really like it either, but like I get why people use it.
I
just
respect
another-
being smart enough to develop it.
It's
Oh,
another-
100%. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong.
It's like that's like saying like I don't like the Phillips head screwdriver. Like it's just a tool
no,
in the
it's
toolbox.
expected goals
I know, but it's
for. How many
it's a
times have
tool
it been
that-
like, oh, this is supposed to happen because it's falling in the X, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And nothing ever.
I do
comes
like the
of it.
square head more.
But it's just kind of
Yeah,
it's modelly. It
again.
just gives you another idea, another element. But I will go with the
That's
square head next time.
Robertson.
See,
I
that
believe-
goes back to like the high danger scoring chances. Because I remember there's a game last year that I think we were playing the Islanders because it's Barzell. Barzell scored a goal from like top of the circle inside, like pretty much in the basketball key, if you will. And it went top cheddar over the glove and did not count as a high danger scoring chance.
But a guy who does
at that
a-
point, I stopped like watching.
But a guy who does like a low percentage wraparound stuffed into the pads, it's like that is because it's so close to the net.
Yeah, it
It's
doesn't
like,
make
you're
sense
right.
to me.
You're right.
See,
to
and
an extent.
I agree that analytics can be used, but I think hockey is so fluid and there's so many small dynamics to the game that you really can't use it to the point that people want to tell you it's that important. Yes, it is important. Yes, it's the mashed potatoes to your turkey dinner, but
That's what I love.
it can't be your whole dinner, and it's not even like the top.
You've never just
3.
eaten a big bowl of mashed potatoes?
Well,
But
that's
he
besides
has.
the point.
Yes.
for a lot of
I
NHL
didn't want to
teams,
make it the stuffing because I like stuffing.
but for a lot of NHL teams, the eye test has been the only thing that they've done for a lot longer than that. So but
the eye test is like it's happening. You see it happened, but when it comes to analytics, like it doesn't account for the fact that the dude was on the ice for 45 seconds and then the puck ended up at stick.
Some of them don't.
It didn't account for. There's so many minute parts of the game that you can't measure. That I just don't think that analytics can be as big as the analytical crowd wants to tell you it is. And yes, it still helps though.
And that's why I like what Jackson said, and I quote, analytics are another good tool to use. If you have a toolbox and you don't have one part of your toolbox filled, you lost one of your tools and you're not using it, it's going to hurt you. We want to get that toolbox as full as possible and use analytics, but you have to use all the other stuff as well, including watching the games in person, using your own sights and smell tests on players. That's exactly it.
I like everything this guy's saying so far.
Everything. To me, that's why I like it.
Part of that is feeding to the base.
I don't think so.
No,
I legitimately think he believes
every other team's doing it.
Yeah, but I can see a younger guy speaking in a way that he thinks the crowd wants to hear, whereas an old dude is just not going to care.
But he's doing the actions right after he says the things.
But the team's not. I don't think the team's this. Now that we're doing analytics or whatever you want to say we're doing now, because there always was a smaller portion of analytics involved in the team, right? People want to say no, but it was. We're not going to make any huge move. You're not going to see somebody brought in and go, that was because of analytics.
You might though.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised. I mean,
So
it's
what
going
I
to be
would say,
hindsight,
like-
obviously, right?
Obviously we'll see, and it's going to take time to figure it out, but I can honestly see like if the Oilers are actually going to use Michael Parkatti as part of like the evaluation process, or at least use his data as part of the evaluation process, I could see a scenario where they go, hey, we like free agent X.
But
We think he's a great guy. We heard that he grinds. We heard that he can score a little bit. What do the numbers say? Do the numbers match up to what we're saying? Okay, great. They do. They don't. Why not?
Or even like to an extent, kind of the Tampa Bay model for a bit, right? Where it's like, how many times did they pull someone up from the American League and they pop home like 26 goals? And it's like, where the hell did they find that guy? I think that's something, again, where like the analytics can maybe help you. A guy goes on waivers and it's like, whoa, is he being overlooked because of some traditional metric? Think of it like Moneyball, right?
But the analytical guys you referred to from Tampa Bay, were they brought in as UFAs or something like that? Or were they brought in as a draft and then molded throughout your organization?
Well, it's a bit of A and B, I think.
Well, I think there's two different things. Like if you mold them, if you've drafted them and you mold them, then you kind of put this player together.
Yeah.
If you bring them in from, waiver wire or whatever, then I agree with you. That could be your analytical using what to bring them in. But when it comes to Tampa Bay, weren't they all like part of the organization to begin with?
I'm struggling to come up with an example off the top of my head, but Ross Colton, I guess, would be someone who like fits your bill of like a guy who was kind of drafted and developed in there. They paid a lot for Hagel, so he's maybe not the best case, but all right.
I just think it's like, if you have the opportunity to build this tool set, why wouldn't you?
No, 100%. I mean, if it's an option, as a tool, you have to use it.
Yeah, just broaden the toolbox.
Nothing he said in those interviews was outrageous. Like it was nothing. It was all very middle ground, to your point.
Yeah.
But I do think that he doesn't have to come out and say any of that stuff if he doesn't want it, if he doesn't believe it. He just doesn't acknowledge it at all and just keeps moving on forward.
Yeah, he doesn't say it at all, right?
Yeah.
Whether believes it or not believes it or anything in between.
But he did say it.
Yeah.
And so now he's.
But that's why I just think that he's saying those things is quite possibly just kind of making sure that people hear what they want to hear. We're going to keep doing it the way we want to, but we'll tell you this, that, the other thing.
I don't
if
think
that is what it is, then it's smart PR. But
I also
legitimately think he wants to bolster the organization.
No, 100%. I mean, everyone tore Holland apart after every presser, right? Because I mean, he just did old man things and
like saying Brandon Sutter needs to go back.
Yeah, 100%. If you go back to the way he was at 28.
Hang on one sec.
It's been up and down like a toilet seat.
Go ahead.
I'm going to miss old man isms when he's away.
That's another storyline. Like that's not a preseason storyline, Tyler, but that's another storyline to follow this year. We're in the last year of
Who's our
Ken
GM
Holland's
this time
contract.
next year?
Who's the GM next year?
It's fair.
You know,
And who's making the decisions this year? Is it Ken Holland on his way out? Because we've done that before with a person on their way out, and that didn't.
That one was different, though.
Yeah, it was.
That guy was.
Ken's looking at retirement. He's looking at that beach in Penticton or wherever he hangs out. You know,
That's fair. But he doesn't.
He's
But he doesn't have
he
to
was
solve it.
drowning.
But he doesn't have to solve any of the problems this
Pictures
year.
of retired Tippett and going, you know what? I like that.
He's been practicing pickleball all summer. He's getting ready to go. That's where Ken Holland's
Probably a
at.
hell of a pickleball player.
Fucking right.
I wonder if the new GM is already in house. Like I know this, like the Steos thing, or like
Thought he was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we thought he was. We were
But-
all pooped there.
they're making all these moves, like changing the head scout and now this analytics team. Like, seems I don't know.
Do you think
Jackson is
Jeff
like doing all
Jackson's
this
going to
stuff?
slide down?
No, not that. But
Nobody's got someone
you
in his
bring in-
crosshairs who's
you-
going to get plucked in here
Yeah, like-
eventually.
you bring in someone new, and he's like, "Well, I don't like this guy, and I don't like this guy," and it's like, "Well, we already hired him.
Well, we
last
should
year.
probably-
Why would we fire him?"
I would imagine we should be looking at his old agency then, maybe for some
Well, I'm
people.
just saying
Wasserman.
it's probably Holland or Steos, right?
Yeah,
I would assume.
yeah. I don't know. I wonder if he would go outside the organization into like one of his number guys, one of his people that worked at the agency.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe McDavid.
Maybe Connor has
Player
somebody that-
GM? Nobody's doing it.
Never been done. So you pay him a bit more.
Mhm.
Well, not
You
since-
can get Connor
Slack.
down to like an $8 million a year and then pay
Mhm.
GM Connor another 14.
I agree.
We're laughing. And now Connor's an $8 million player.
Maybe give him a percentage of merch.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
why not?
Get him a burger, hot dog, named after him. Not.
I would like the Jeff Jackson.
Give him a single one.
When
There
do
you
we
are.
announce the Jeff Jackson jambalaya? Where is it? And how much is it? $40 and they pour it right in your hand.
Did you ask Gregor to ask him that?
I should have. I wish I knew he was going on Gregor show. I'd been like, hey, Jeff Jackson jambalaya coming. Yes.
All right. Highest earning agents from Wasserman Hockey. If we're looking to handicap who the next GM is. Number one is Judd Moldover.
The only
Doesn't
Judd
sound
I
like-
care about is the one from the Breakfast Club.
He is McDavid's new
Yeah.
agent, though, so we should care a little bit about
Okay,
him.
never mind.
Number two on the list,
Gagne's dead.
Dave Gagne. Are we not about to get a
Oh my
Dave
God.
Gagne, Sam Gagne, GM, AGM, dual hybrid
my
hire?
God.
Oh
we
my
just, We
goodness.
just came up with this
We
on.
cracked it.
You heard it here first.
You thought you were being sneaky, Jeff.
I would love to see that happen just
my
to see
God.
how the
The old boys club.
Oh my
no, how
goodness.
the fans would take it.
That's what I
Because
mean, yeah.
first of all, we were not supposed to bring Keith Gretzky in because nepotism and it's
Yep.
Wayne and blah, blah, blah.
But we like
They
Keith.
brought Keith
We like
in, and
Keith.
Keith has proven himself over time
Is
and time
Keith
again.
supposed to be the guy?
I
We
don't
forgot
think-
about Keith.
Should
Right?
be in the conversation.
He's
I think it's
Bakerfield's GM
now
right
that
now, right?
Steos is out, if he
He
is
said-
or isn't,
Holland
I
said
think
Steos is here still.
Keith is.
Yeah, Holland did say that. Like, I
Yeah,
was
but he also
confused.
said he hadn't seen him in a month.
He said he's.
I'm pretty sure he still works for
I
us.
signed his paycheck yesterday.
You know,
It's
I
been
passed
up
him in
and
the
down.
hallway
But would
one
that not-
time last summer.
That would kind of put. I mean, in terms of internal options, that puts Gretzky back in the spot.
it could. And
Keith, not Wayne.
I'm also curious just to see, because this would be like Jeff Jackson's first hire. So I imagine he's going to want to do it the right way. At least I hope so.
Yeah.
Based on what he said and done so far, I think he would.
I think he's a smart guy who's not going to get sucked into the whole, like, I want to hire one of my guys. He seems like the type who's going to do this the right way.
Do you think he's wanted to be in this position for a while?
I think so. I think
If you've wanted to be in this position for a while, have you not been handing out interviews to everyone you've talked to for the last X amount of time?
I imagine as an agent, you have to be.
They're not
pretty
real
careful.
interviews, but you're like, well, this
Oh,
guy you kind of have
yeah.
in my
You're
in my
you're taking
calendar.
temperatures.
After you're done negotiating
'Cause,
with
like-
Ken Holland, like, hey man, I would love your job if you're ever looking to get out of here.
That's another thing too, is that Jeff Jackson's Rolodex must be ridiculous. And with, some of the other teams, like the Canucks went with what's his name, and then the Habs went with the other guy.
Those are-
Non-traditional GMs, kind of, or different GMs out of the normal circle.
Alvin and Ken Hughes.
Was Alvin an agent?
He was an
Wasn't
agent.
an agent,
Was
but
he not?
No.
But to your point, Bag Milk, out of the GM carousel again,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
kind
don't
of
see us
going outside
popping
of
into
that.
the GM carousel.
we're not
Well,
hiring
that's-
Doug Armstrong.
That's the thing. That's what I was going to say is, like, I don't think they're going back to, I would say confidently, we're not going back to the GM carousel, because Jeff Jackson doesn't want somebody to come in that's like, well, I've been doing it this way my whole life. Jeff, you're not going to listen.
If
Tell
we
me what
if
to
we
do.
went into it, I'd be someone that's forward thinking, I think.
Yeah.
Dallas
There might be a couple of young guys out there still in
Golly.
that carousel, if you will.
There's probably guys for sure that are also just like, they're due for a job, you know, but we'll see. They got some big contract negotiations coming up. I don't know.
I would still be scared about giving a guy his first.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, the first order of business is staring down Leon Draisaitl and be like,
Yeah.
what do you need, Leon? And he's like, everything you have.
I
Yes,
kind of
sir.
like the idea of what like the Leafs went with, to be honest, where they get an experienced guy like Brad Treliving, who's not like on the spectrum of like, oh, he's so old, he's
He's not a
around
retread.
forever.
But he
Or-
probably has been, hasn't he? How long's Trey
I
Living
don't
been
know.
around?
Alternate
mean-
theory, we get Jim Treliving.
Hey,
Boston pizzas everywhere.
that would be
Fuck
nice.
Yeah. Arena food just went up a notch.
Mm-hmm.
There goes.
I will not rest till I can get cactus cuts at Oilers.
No more Pizza 73 being dropped from the ceiling.
Nope. Just a big thing of Thai chicken bites coming down.
It's got Bandera
Oh,
pizza bread flying
Yo, they
everywhere.
start
Some
dropping
spin
Boston
dip.
Brutes from the top.
Not even wrapped.
No.
Just lobbing them out.
Just handfuls of the meat coming down at you from the upper deck. I
It's
love
a
it.
salami fest.
Damn straight. I'm down.
I love it. I'm in. This is the best idea we've had so far.
Bringing one of those fishing nets.
Catching salami.
Yeah, trying to catch everything I can.
Oh, buddy, a huge fishing net. Not just one of the handhelds one. I want one of those ones they like overhand chuck into the water. There's going to be collateral damage for sure, but I'm going to get my fill. All right. We got to move on. Interesting little quote I wanted to read you guys. I don't know if you had seen it, but Tyson Barrie appeared on Luke Gazdick's podcast, Mitts Off. And he just talked about getting traded. And I just wanted to read it, get your take. I was having a pretty good year and I didn't think I was going to be on the radar. I heard some Erik Karlsson rumors. I talked to Kenny and he told me that's kind of only place you're going to go if we have a chance to get Erik Karlsson. He said, hey, no problem, as if to suggest he understood that the opportunity presented by the Oilers might be too good to pass up if it is Karlsson. So ultimately, Tyson Barrie didn't necessarily think he was going anywhere. We know he went to Nashville for Mattias Ekholm. Just thoughts?
I wonder how long
Well,
the Ekholm thing was.
I was just going to say,
then.
in Ken Holland's defense, when he was talking to him about Carlson, maybe
being
Ekholm
honest.
wasn't even like
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
conversation at all.
Maybe Barry should have asked about Ekholm too.
Yeah, I don't know.
He
Like,
just starts
Better
like,
questions.
he pulls up Cat Friendly and he goes through all the defensemen on the list. He goes,
What about
all
this
right,
guy?
what about him?
This guy.
Nope, not him. All right.
if you haven't been told you're not getting traded, you can be traded.
Yeah, I mean, like it was unfortunate because Barry, good guy in the room, was having a good year, all that stuff.
But-
Sure, but like again, you get a chance to have Mattias Ekholm. Like sports is sports. It's not like they dumped him off
It's a
to.
cruel mistress.
It's not like they traded him to insert dog shit market here. Like he did get to go to Nashville. Like
I'm kind of
Pretty fun
tired of
place to
hearing Tyson Barrie talk about the trade, to be honest.
yeah,
Like, come on, man. It's been months.
Liam from the top,
Well,
bro.
Did they ask him the question or did he bring it up
He
himself?
got asked.
I mean, either way, it's just kind of like,
Well, Tyson, what do you
Stop
think?
talking about it, man.
Listen, guys, I've had enough of
move
this shit.
on.
It's been a couple months already.
just move on. I
Liam
don't
said
know.
that I have spoken too much about this trade. Sorry, I can't answer your question.
I kind of get it.
It's just
You're sick of
seems
talking
like-
about it.
Yeah, like,
No, I'm with you.
The whole conversation needs to move on. He's been gone since when's the trade deadline? March 1st or whatever. It's been a while. You've had an entire summer.
Hey, man, heartbreak
Aren't
takes
you
a while.
dead
You live,
yet?
you live in
Jeez.
Nashville, Tennessee over Edmonton, Alberta.
How dare
You
you?
should be much happier.
Wow.
You spent
Yeah,
your
what?
summer in Victoria.
Wait,
Says the guy wearing a Nashville
Go
baseball
Sounds.
jersey.
Yeah, I
Wow.
want to go.
Wow.
Should have came
Trade
last
me,
time.
Ken.
Are you just mad because he
Unbelievable.
didn't take you with him?
No, I just mad that
Jeez.
I don't care anymore.
Edmonton taking some shrapnel from Liam here.
Yeah, that was.
Edmonton's the new Paris,
Well,
apparently.
Yeah,
Not
That's
even
casual.
a citizen. So
So
should have
in,
come last time.
I really thought I was going to get more backing on that point.
I want to introduce a new sponsor to the podcast here quickly. I want to talk about some of the moments that we enjoyed from last year as we're looking ahead. I want to look back a little bit. For our friends at Alberta Brew Cross, there's only one thing better than sharing memories, and that's making new ones. We just talked about some new stuff that we're expecting. I want to look back at last year really quickly. Round the horn. When you think of just like your best moments from last year, because we're going into another season that's going to be exciting. The Oilers are going to be good, like Tyler said. They have a chance to be Stanley Cup champions. Knock on wood. When you think back to last year, what is one of your favorite moments from the 2022-23 season, Liam?
McDavid scoring his 60th goal and being behind the net when he scored it. Because that game, you may remember, started at 9 p.m. that night because it was on TNT broadcasts and I got home at like 1 a.m. And then he went to overtime and it was just a visible groan.
I feel like he's still upset about this too.
But that was epic to be there, to see McDavid do that. I had a nice time.
Also, like that goal, right, is he freaks out and is like mashing his stick against the boards, like stuff Connor McDavid has like never really done.
Yeah.
Because I think even he kind of recognized how sweet it would have been to like pop home 60 in OT to win the games. Like he's pissed off hitting his stick and then like gets the puck back.
Tries the same move.
Yeah.
Executes well.
Yeah.
Oh, no, man. I'll let other people have a moment before I give my second.
Dan, what do you got? Best moments from 2022-23.
Well, I'm going to selfishly steal it. I don't know why Liam didn't pick this, but it's when the Germans came and they got to spend time with one Devon Shore.
I really
as
hope
well
Devin's
as
not listening to this
Draisaitl.
podcast today if he knows that Liam did not bring up that.
Yeah,
as his-
I think Devon Shaw thinks I'm German, to be fair.
Probably, yeah.
Not expecting
That's fine.
But yeah, the Oilers coming out and meeting our German friends was a highlight of the year.
Liam could have been like, hey, my favorite memory is I met Devon Shore and now I'm literally on Twitter as a searchable GIF.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
You met Devon Shore, correct?
Devon score, yes.
You said hello.
Maybe
A couple extra words.
I asked him about the jersey number. We
Okay,
fist
well,
bumped, we
I'll tell you
laughed,
this.
we joked.
At this point, I'm going to assume that he did not think you were German.
Maybe he's not good at recognizing accents.
He goes, this German guy sounds really English to me.
Is that a German English accent you have there?
Those are very uncommon. You don't hear that often. Rick, favorite moment from 2022-23.
Individual moment, I think that ridiculous, like Leon scoring from his angle got worse and worse and worse and worse. And he kept
Through
scoring.
like the keyhole, essentially.
Yeah, man. But if you're talking about the whole season, I think it was Connor's individual offensive success.
Hard not to pick it.
That was insane.
What was it, Tyler, you had in your article today at OilersNation.com? Best season in like 25 years or something like that?
Yeah, like since the year 2000, it's the most productive season, and he clears Kucherov's year by like 27 points. It's like ridiculous.
Tyler, favorite moment of last year?
Oh, you know what's a bit of a... I like it because it was just such a big turning point. But when they came out of that loss against LA and then just rattled off like 6 straight wins, they won like 8 of 10 or something crazy like that. And it just felt like that's when the team really came together. And it was a little bit after the arrival of Klim Kostin, but like Klim Kostin was suddenly making an impact, and it was the whole Vinny in, we win thing.
That's not it. With Vinny, we winny.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry.
Wow.
But I just remember like they lost that game 6-3 to the
He
Kings.
was waiting for you to screw that up.
4
by the
scraps
way.
in that game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, like Puljujarvi was fighting
sir.
guys, like everything. And then they just came out of that one and it was 6-2, 7-1. Then they beat the Golden Knights, beat the Kraken, beat the Lightning. And that whole stretch was just, it was a lot of fun because we were worried about the team there. At least I was.
You were in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, and then, yeah, we saw them win in Vegas.
Right. Because I think going into the trip, we were like, oh, good. They just got spanked by LA.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
They won.
Then they lit up
we-
San Jose.
Yeah,
That
we
was the
were
viewing party.
at the bar for the San Jose game, right? That was the watch party.
Who was the player in that game who Jay bet on to get a hat trick and he thought he got it?
Janmark. It was Mattias Janmark first goal.
Yeah.
No, he bet on someone to score a hat trick in the San Jose game
Nuge?
that we were.
I think Nuge had 2.
And then he
Nuge
thought
had
we
one.
would
McDavid
score
had, no, it was
third.
McDavid.
Was
McDavid
it?
had 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
And Nuge scored, and Jay celebrated as if he had won the bet. He had an,
Oh, no, that was at our Christmas party. Jay bet Mattias Janmark first goal of the game. Mattias Janmark scored the first Oilers goal, but it was not the first. And then he started yelling at all of us and pointing his finger that we didn't buy into his bet.
I lost Jay.
My favorite memory of last season, how could I not? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 100 points. Nobody saw that one coming. We all hoped.
I thought you were going to say when he fought Justin Hull.
That one too. Like, come on. He absolutely tuned up Justin Hull.
Beat him up.
He's a goon.
Just Goon Nuge came out and he does. Now that I'm thinking about that, Dan, that was a good fight.
Yes.
Didn't give Justin Hull an
That
option.
was pre-dad strength.
Oh, now girl dad Nuge, get out of here.
He's going to toss dudes around.
Mm-hmm. So my favorite memory of the year, your Alberta Blue Cross memorable moment was Ryan Nugent-Hopkins hitting 100 points.
Did everyone give one?
Yes.
I was thinking of an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Please do.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead.
The final moments of Game 6 versus LA when we were all at Greta and Skinner stick broke, and then was it Yamo who scored the winner? Or
Yeah, Yamo scored the winner.
Skinner stick
Philip
breaking
Deneau
goal.
scored the tying goal.
That was nuts because it was just so up and down. That was cool.
That's a good way to plug the fact that we are going back to Greta season opening party October 11th.
Mm-hmm.
I think we might be doing live pre and post game shows from there as well. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to party, watch the Oilers, celebrate the fact that the season is back. So stay tuned. Tickets, I think, go on sale next week.
For Cornerstone Insurance, it is time for Ask the Idiot.
I had an honorable mention too.
Oh, okay.
I like this moment. They had a game against Montreal in December, Hockey Night in Canada, and they were down 1-0. And then remember, Montreal took a million penalties, and the Oilers scored 3 power play goals. And I'm looking at it, under 8 minutes, they scored 3 power play goals, and then they ended up rolling the Habs.
Honorable mention: the Oilers power play in general.
Yeah.
You know, you'd watch some other teams play that the Oilers were not involved in those games, and they would go on the power play. You go, God, this is garbage. Like, you watch this all the time? That sucks.
Wait, I have an honorable mention. I have Clem Costin when he refused to put on or take a photo with the Flames fan at photo day.
I love it.
I've got Draisaitl knocking the stick out of Trouba's hand after the game-winning goal. Just as little moments that happen. McDavid scoring 4-on-4 in the accuracy contest and still losing somehow. And then also Evander Kane and the fan flipping him off in the stands. That happened this year.
Great photo.
So just a couple of other moments that were out there.
Kane's fuck around, find out moment. That was a good clip. I liked it.
The Rise of Stu.
Rise of Stu. Great. Mustache. Fantastic. Electric even. For our friends at Cornerstone Insurance, it is time for Ask the Idiots. I got 3 questions for you, boys. Cornerstone Insurance for 90 years has been one of Edmonton's premier boutique insurers with every product that you could ever hope for in terms of insurance. If you visit cornerstoneins.ca/nation, you can get an online quote in just a few moments. And if you use the promo code NATION, you will get an exclusive rate on your deal.
Oh, hey, Kennedy.
Thanks, Waz.
We're in the middle of a podcast here, Waz.
Yeah. It wasn't working.
We're record a podcast in here.
Ask the Idiots. Number 1, I am asking you first, Liam.
All right.
The last boss you had before you worked at Oilers Nation asks for your phone. He wants to look at your pictures. How fucked are you when he looks at them, or do you just throw that phone into the ocean?
You can just look. There's nothing on there.
All right. Dan?
The concept of throwing it in the ocean as being the way to erase it is amazing, but
find it.
I'm not entirely fucked, but they're going to be very confused by like the memes and the content that I've screenshotted over the years. 25,000, by the way.
Rick, what do you got on your phone?
Ocean.
He was going in the ocean. Tyler, what do you got?
I think I'm generally pretty safe. I would give up my phone to whoever's asking, really, if you want to get to know me better. I think it's a fine tactic.
Okay.
Tyler uses it actually in some of his own job interviews.
And after, Tyler's going to power rank his co-workers. And,
I probably think we should do that anyway.
Yeah.
You know, maybe have a whiteboard that you were talking about. Maybe we use a portion of that. Just rank the office.
Like how Deion Sanders ranks his kids.
Exactly.
and just...
I dig it.
What does he say? He's like, I know you all do it too. He's like, I don't know.
He's like, you just don't do it publicly. I'm like, I don't know. I think some parents might actually like just love all their kids a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, we all rank them.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you can look at my phone. I mean, ooh, the pictures I don't mind you looking at. Actually, you know what? You can look at my phone. Maybe.
Do you want the job? You have to want this job.
Okay, so I want the job.
Ocean.
You know what? Yeah, it's going in the ocean. There's,
Ocean.
Yep. I'm not worried about the pictures. There's just some other stuff in there that, you know, that's just for bag milk.
Ocean.
I don't get the reference behind it though. What's the reference behind the question?
Not sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, didn't hear.
Random question.
Real quick, around the horn.
creative.
Liam, of all the people on the podcast, whose phone do you want to see?
Rick's apparently.
Yeah, I'm with Rick's too. Dan?
Rick?
Tyler?
Yeah, I'm in on Rick now too. Like it's just
All right,
Let's go.
Rick. Airplane.
All right, cough it up, Rick. All right, next question. Ask the Idiots. I'm starting with you, Tyler. How do you guys deal with dumb hockey people? My boss last season was one of the nurse has to go people. And then earlier this week, he told me Nuge needs to have a better season because he was bad last year. How do I handle this?
The way I handle it is just by kind of just sucking it up and being like, yeah, totally, man. Mm-hmm. And just end the conversation. Just don't engage. I totally understand what the guy's going through though, because there's a lot of times where people will like, and I love talking hockey with whoever wants to talk hockey with me, but there's a few times where some guys had a few too many at a bar and he'll be like, "You're up, Chuck. I got something I need to run past you. I think the Oilers need to trade Skinner. Hear me out." And it's like, damn it. I'm in.
Not hearing you.
Now I'm sucked into this.
This has
shit.
nothing to do with anything, but me and sales guy Jared were trying to get Tyler down on the patio for a beer yesterday after work, and he left and he was not. But we were like, "Tyler, join us." We were yelling at him as he was getting in the truck to drive away. What you missed is once you got in the truck, everybody else on the patio started yelling at you as well because everyone knew who you were. So like, "Oh, your M-Chuck's not having any fun already? Come on."
I was feeling under the weather, but to make
You
up
were
for
sick.
it,
Tyler was sick.
I was sick. But what did I do before we started recording this pod?
You took beers out of here.
Crushed
No,
3
I
beers.
took beers and put them in the fridge for after.
Oh, I thought they were for the podcast.
I thought you shotgunned them all.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard beers. They walked past, I'm like, they're going the wrong way.
Rick, how do you deal with idiot hockey fans?
Call stupid.
Fair.
I was going to say, like, I think we're probably like 4 of the 5 of the most qualified people to answer this question because we all get these opinions thrown at us all the time. For me, I just tend to make the person keep repeating what they're saying just so that they have to keep hearing it over and over again and really like absorb what they're saying. Like Darnell
don't
Nurse
catch on
is
unless you tell them.
absolutely useless. Oh, what did you say? Darnell Nurse is absolutely useless. But is he playing on defense? You said he was absolutely useless and just keep going back and forth.
Liam, how do you deal with hockey idiots?
Well, if they're on Twitter, I just mute them.
You are an aggressive muter. You mute everyone.
One false move. You're out of that.
Sorry, Paris.
Hey, so just a note, if Liam never interacts with you, just think about that.
There's probably a reason.
How do I deal with them in person? No, I just kind of walk through it with them. Like I asked, like if they say like, "Well, Nurse sucks," it's like why?
Yeah.
I'll say why, and they're like, "We should just trade him." I was like, "Well, how are you going to trade his contract?" Like, "Oh, we'll just do it for this, this, and this." I was like, "Well, that won't work because of this," and then they're just like, "Oh yeah," and then they kind of forget the idea. I've done that a few times through my time, mostly with my dad.
My tactic is to take your nonsense and read it on a podcast so that I benefit from your stupidity.
That's fair. Smart.
I think that is the move. So who asked this? Ian, start a podcast. Read out people's stuff on your podcast. That's my advice.
What Becky said at work yesterday, the podcast.
Exactly. That's exactly what you do. Last question, ask the idiots. We got to roll because Rick's got 6 minutes.
Oh, I'm laughing.
He said he has to be at work at 3.
4-3, yeah.
4-3.
All right, so we got this.
Yeah, the rate we go sometimes, we go,
No, I mean, it's a fair warning to give us a lot.
Has to get it out.
It's kind of like, sometimes you got to tell your significant other, like, we got to leave the house at 8 a.m., even though you don't have to leave the house till 8:15, but you build in a bit of a buffer. Rick
You
does
only
that
take
with us.
15 minutes. Hey, I do a full 90.
But then you're real fucked if they're on time.
Yeah, it's hard to hide that one.
Let me know when that happens.
Fair.
I'm going to jump in the middle here, Dan.
Yes.
We're going to play a little fantasy for the week. This one comes in for the year, I should say. Coming in from Blake. Who are your fantasy favorites heading into the season 4? 1, your favorite sleeper pick. Let's just do Oilers here. Just make it easy.
Okay.
Your favorite sleeper pick on the Oilers, your favorite breakout pick on the Oilers, who's going to bust on the Oilers, and who's having a bounce back season. So number 1, let's start with favorite sleeper pick.
Sleeper pick is going to be Connor Brown. I don't think that he's necessarily a sleeper pick, but I think his value is going to be lower in the drafts. So
Yeah, he only played 4 games last year. Makes sense. How about, well, let's just go around the horn. We'll do all 4 individually. Liam, who you got? Favorite sleeper?
I'll go Campbell.
ooh,
I feel like people aren't going to think about him.
Okay. Rick, who you got? Favorite sleeper pick?
What are the other categories?
Breakout, bust, and bounce back.
Breakout, bust, bounce back. And this is sleeper. Fogel.
Contract Fogel. Contract year Fogel. Tyler, who's your sleeper pick on the Edmonton Oilers?
Putting
You
it
say
into a
Connor
fantasy perspective is always tough because like a guy like Fogel's a good sleeper for the Oilers, but like I don't know how many leagues Warren Fogle would get drafted in. So I'm going to say Evander Kane just because his production was still solid from a fantasy perspective, but he played half the year. He's fully healthy and gets 70, 75 games in. You might have a 30 goal scorer that you could probably draft in, round 7, 8, 9.
I'm going to pick fantasy. I don't know how many people outside of our market really can appreciate how many points Evan Bouchard can put up. And if he's on the power play, which he will be, he's in line for a big, big season.
He was going to be if we can go skip ahead to the next one.
Sure.
The breakout.
Breakout.
I think Evan Bouchard's going to hit just another level. I think he's going to be one of, if not the best fantasy defenseman in the league this year. He was 38th in even strength points last year. And remember, he played a good chunk of the year on the third pairing with Philip Broberg, sheltered minutes. Okay, if this guy's now on the ice even more when McDavid and Draisaitl are at 5-on-5, and he gets a full year of running the point on the power play, he's going from a 40-point defenseman to, I think he could be a 60, 70-point D-man next year.
I like it. Rick, who's your breakout player for the Edmonton Oilers?
Breakout player, I think you're going to see Dylan Holloway.
Dylan Holloway is also my pick for breakout player. Nation Dan, who you got breakout player for 2023-24?
I just have hope in the kid. I'm going to say Broberg comes into the lineup and looks comfortable and gives them pause for thought when Ekholm's good and healthy.
Liam, who you got?
I think it's so hard to say like a breakout player in fantasy for the Oilers.
It's fantasy. My bad.
It's so obvious who's going to be on the power play and who's going to score points.
Yeah.
Say Ekholm maybe. It's like a breakout fantasy option. He's never really been the guy, right?
And if blocked shots count in your league, that actually could be an interesting one.
Yeah,
And he's got a little bit of offensive touch too.
Yeah,
we saw it last year. Reversing the order, Liam, you have first. Who's the biggest bust?
Oh boy. I actually think I don't think he's going to bust, but I don't think Hyman will do as well this season. So I'll just say Hyman.
He had 83 points last year.
A little higher.
Nation Dan, who's busting for you?
Okay, I'm actually thinking fantasy again instead of trying to just come up with an answer. I would say bust wise, I just think because of where he's going to be drafted, because he's on this team again, is Evander Kane. I just don't see him matching those numbers this year, non-contract year. So yeah, Evander Kane will be my.
You got Rick.
Pick.
You'll see a slight regression in Nuge's numbers, I believe.
I was also going to pick Nuge. I love him, but like 104 points was bananas.
Yeah, like I think if you're to order off the Oilers in the order they're going to be picked in fantasy drafts, McDavid, Draisaitl, then Nuge, Hyman, Boosh, then it's Kane. I think Kane this year can outproduce Hyman and Nuge. So one of Hyman or Nuge is my answer.
Last question. One more time around the horn. Tyler, your best bounce back bet.
I think people are forgetting how good Darnell Nurse can be offensively when he's rolling. Remember that Canada division year? He was really, really good. He scored like 17 goals in 56 games. So I'll say Daryl.
Rick, who you got bounce back season?
I was going to say Nurse, but I'll go back to I'll go back to Fogle. I think he had a bit of a dip last year, and I think you're going to see a big surprise out of him this year.
Yeah, I would also pick Fogle as my pick for bounce back. I think that his year was pretty crap last year. So
if he can give us though, like what he gave us the last probably 40% of the year.
Yep.
Like we're bugging. Who you got for bust?
Fantasy?
Yep. Fantasy bust or fantasy bounce back. Sorry.
Well, Connor Brown played 4 games last season. He should bounce back pretty good, I think.
I don't know. Like I don't play
him too with McDavid.
I just assume that, his average draft position will be lower, but you never know.
Not in Edmonton.
I don't know who would pick him in a draft for fantasy, but it's got to be Jack Campbell for me. Like if you need an extra goalie on your fantasy team or something, and because he's going to slip way down into a later round, like
it's probably going to be a free agent argument.
I mean, like, come on, he's got to be better than the 880, whatever he was. Has to be, right?
88.
Yeah, he will.
Has to be. So there's my pick. Cornerstone Insurance, Ask the Idiots. Just slide on into my DMs. The boys don't see these questions before we do them, but I would like to hear from you. Slide on into my DMs on social media. I will include you next week. Time to wrap up the podcast here. Hot and cold performers. It is our signature bit outside of word association. As we do every week, we start off with our cold performers, but first I got to tell you about Wilhock Beef Jerky. Most importantly, for me, where I live in the West End, I found the West End location. I found the residence of the pickled eggs.
Mm-hmm.
I've stocked up. I have not had one yet. They're in my fridge.
Also, when you're done, you get a free mason jar.
Come on.
Win-win.
I could
Value.
Incredible.
I could keep potpourri in there.
You could.
You know? Wilhock Beef Jerky. They got 3 locations, Spruce Grove, Leduc, and West Edmonton Mall. Go grab some jerky. Maybe you do what Wanye said yesterday on Nation Real Life and you make yourself socks out of beef jerky so you got a snack wherever you go. It's just something to think about.
Not a terrible idea.
You don't like that idea, Liam?
That's a terrible idea.
I liked it at first. I thought that could work. And I kind of
Maybe you're eating tube socks. You're starting mid shin. But what about the no shows? That's all bottom of the foot. You don't want that one.
Jerky holds.
Yeah, see, I was going to pivot Wanye's idea to suspenders, maybe.
Ooh.
You know, hold up my slacks.
Yeah, how long are they going to be held up for, though?
Well,
Not
at the
very
end of the
long.
day, I've got no slacks on. That's how it
Nice
goes.
proximity to.
Ooh, you know what it is?
Go ahead.
A necktie.
Now we're talking.
Mm,
Yeah, then by the end of the night, when it's time to party, you're already free up top.
exactly.
There
And
you
you're
go.
full.
You guys seen that game show out of Japan? The Is It Candy show, where they make them bite random stuff. and
Ew.
Have to find
Japan's
out.
got the gnarliest shows.
Yeah,
They really, really
Squid
do.
Games.
Yeah,
So
Rick's
maybe
gotta
we
go.
have to workshop some kind of is it jerky? Huh? I don't know how we do it, but we'll
But every time it is just jerky. It's just
yeah,
us
it's just
eating
jerky always. Starting off with our cold performers for our friends at Wilhock, as we always do. We get our veggies out of the way here first. Tyler, your Chuck, you were up first. Your Wilhock beef jerky cold performer of the week.
So there's in Major League Baseball, when a legend is retiring, they do like a farewell tour there last year, and every organization gives them gifts, right? So, you know,
What kind of gifts we talking?
players come to Toronto and they'll give them like a custom Canada Goose jacket and like something
that's a
else,
nice
right?
gift.
And all that stuff. Miguel Cabrera is doing this year. He's gotten a lot of great gifts from different spots. Yep.
Didn't know.
He went to Oakland and the Oakland A's gave him just a bottle of wine and people went and looked it up. It retails for $80.
Come on.
They got him, and other teams were getting like $1,000 gifts for Mickey. They gave him one $80 bottle of wine.
that's-
Not
And you-
like even engraved or
And you
anything.
know they didn't pay for it either.
No, they probably just
They
went
just
to, like,
went into one of like the bars and just grabbed one off the shelf.
fuck, Mickey's playing. Go get him a
We forgot a present. We forgot a present.
$80 bottle of wine for Mickey.
Rick, you're up next. Your Wilhock beef jerky
This one-
cold performer of the week.
This one to me is quite easy. It's NFL injuries right now.
Fair.
I don't know who plays fantasy football here, but there's some
Guilty.
teams out there that have they're taking a beating right now.
Yeah.
See, as you can see,
And that
the more
injury
you
to
fuck
Chubb,
around, the more you're going to find out.
I had a
that injury to Chubb was disgusting.
I had a tough one because I'm in a league with Gavin, and it's literally called the High Rollers League.
Okay.
It is quite expensive to be in there, and I'm 2-0 in the league, so I'm first, and the waivers is obviously 12-1, and I had Nick Chubb.
You have waiver wire still, not Fab.
No, we did not do Fab.
You should need to do Fab.
Fab's the way to go. I had a guy.
Yeah, because as the guy who's last place in the waiver wire, you literally could have just went out and
it
purchased
brings some competitiveness,
Well,
and I'm looking good this week anyway.
What's Fab? Sorry for
It's
the
like
non.
free agent bucks.
you auction on the waiver
Oh,
wire.
auction.
You get $100 to spend on the year.
That's fun. Nation Dan, you're up. Your Wilhock beef jerky cold performer of the week.
I'm just gonna give it to myself, I guess, for our car getting hit by another person this week. So got to deal with that. So had a car accident. Cold performer of the week.
Have you ever fought before? Yeah. You have? Yeah. You were probably beat up in the bus stop most of the time. I think so, huh?
Weird button to pick for me, but okay. Liam, you're up next. Your
I've been thinking.
Wilhock cold performer of the week.
Sorry. I've been wondering if I should do this one, but I'm going to give it to myself as well. I had an interaction with a listener of this show, and I kind of forgot my job for a few minutes while I was talking to him, and it was just an incredibly awkward interaction because I was looking at him thinking, who are you? The whole time. And it was just someone who listens to our podcast. So apologies to that person for the terrible interaction we had. Hope it's better next time.
Nice work.
Okay.
I thought that was that other story you were gonna tell me about.
Which one?
Don't you, or do you think there's a reason I'd be wearing all this? Kind of.
Oh, no. I
No, I
can't do
thought
that
that was the other
It's
answer.
a family story.
You treat a random listener of the podcast like that?
Random listener of the podcast. Just don't look Liam in the eyes. That's the rule. Just when you're out in public.
I had recently woken up from a nap. Just caught me off guard. Wasn't expecting.
Wait a minute. You wake up from a nap and you head out to the streets? I need like at least an hour to
I was
recover.
going to say, there's still at least 10 minutes between waking up from a nap and getting onto the street.
No, got
Where'd
up.
you run into this person?
Were you napping at a bus stop?
It was in my neighborhood.
Did this person wake you up from the nap?
I was heading to the crew game.
You were napping.
Yeah. And I interacted.
All right. Maybe drop Liam an icebreaker next time. Like, hey, how was Cheesecake Wednesday? You might say, you know, just putting that up there. My cold performer of the week is airlines. Again, I had 2 flights last week. Two Vancouver, home from Vancouver. And I do what I always do. I clear security, I pop down, I have myself a double Caesar. That's how it goes. Doesn't matter if it's 4 a.m, 4 p.m. That's the routine. I go over to my gate. This is going to Vancouver, mind you. At the time that my ticket says to board, Tyler and I almost missed our flight. I did not want to do that again. So I wander over and I get to my gate and I look, I go, there's no plane there yet. That's interesting. So then I get the alert on my phone. It goes, unscheduled maintenance. I'm like, well, that's interesting maintenance. There's no plane there. And then it comes pulling up and you see all the people debark or unbark. What's the word?
Unboard.
Disembark.
Get off.
Deplane.
Disembark.
Deplane, unplane, remove themselves from plane.
Mm-hmm.
Coming home from Vancouver, having a little breakfast with the missus, nice coffee, chilling. Alert, 20-minute delay. No problem. Unscheduled maintenance. I'm like, okay, no problem. I got an extra 20 minutes to kill. 5 minutes later, 4-hour delay, unscheduled maintenance. I go, oh, lovely. But another 4 hours to kill. Fine. Get through that. Go hang out at the beach. Get into my zone. Feel zen. Go to the airport. Clear security. Grab my drink. Go to my gate. There's no plane there when my boarding time says it's supposed to happen. Bink. Unscheduled maintenance. 20-minute delay. But this part was funny because everybody at the gate was already had a 4-hour delay and they went, all in unison. Again, no plane there. Comes in probably 30 minutes later. Everybody gets off the plane. So I guess the airlines won, and just using unscheduled maintenance as your excuse for a delay when it was clearly not unscheduled maintenance. It's annoying. That's it.
Worse. Good news for you. They just changed it from weather delay where it was going to be sunny outside. And
Yeah, you look outside and you're like, nice day.
But so you got 4 delays.
In the last month, I've had 4 flights. One of them was straight up canceled. The other 3 were delayed at least 90 minutes or more.
Oh my gosh. If you're traveling at the same time as Bag Milk,
don't
plan ahead.
Just
or
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, just don't come. Like if I'm going on vacation, just get on a different plane because you're not leaving when you want to. All right, let's end off with some positive. I'm feeling better. I'm home.
Got that off your
Podcast
chest.
did not start late. Was not delayed. So let's do some Will Hawk Beef Jerky hot performance of the week. And I'm going to start with my friend Liam Horrobin. We're reversing the order. Liam, you're up first.
My hot performer of the week is, Crusaders 3-0 to start the year.
You've been to how many games?
I've been to 2 and I watched the other one on my laptop on Wednesday.
Has anyone seen a cheeseburger review?
I took a picture of a cheeseburger.
How was it though?
Not a cheeseburger.
That wasn't the answer to the question.
Price went up. I think we'll officially kick it off.
What's the price now?
$7.
Whoa.
Inflation, people. I'm telling you.
You could have made a better choice.
I could what?
Joe's barbecue foot massage. Joe's barbecue foot
if
massage.
any hockey rinks in the world offer that, I will be there.
I don't know that I want it. Can you at least make sure a different person does each job? That's all I care about. Nation Dan, you're up next with your Will Hawk Beef Jerky hot performer of the week.
I'm just going to give it to the fact that hockey is back, and like it feels like social media is starting to pick up again and not just be this miserable existence of a bunch of hockey fans just mad at the world. So it's hockey is back, and hockey is back this weekend.
We the best.
Rick, you're up next. Your Will Hawk Beef Jerky hot performer of the week.
I don't know what it was going to be coming into today, but I got a text like 10, 15 minutes ago, and it was just my dad sent me a text, and it was just a picture
really nice.
of a golf ball in a hole.
Oh,
And I
nice.
said no, and he said yes. So this will go out to my dad getting the hole-in-one today, his first ever. I think he's usually like a mid-low 90s type of guy.
Wow.
And yeah, just popped his first one today, so it goes out to him today.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How can you not?
It's getting hot in here.
Tyler, you're up next. Your Will Hawk Beef Jerky hot performer of the week.
The Buffalo Bills for winning when I went out there last week and putting some money in my jeans. It was fun. Go Bills.
Getting me armchair GM horny.
Getting me all kinds of horny.
Did you listen to last week's episode?
Nope.
Obviously not.
My dad did though.
Oh, and what do you say about it?
Not a lot.
Oh.
Why is he withholding things from me?
I feel like
Last week, like Friday?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't there either.
Was it 2 weeks ago then?
Last
he
week
kept
was you and
pressing
I
that-
going back and
It was
forth.
2 weeks ago.
When he
Oh,
kept
I was
hitting that
including you in the
button-
podcast.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
just asking you where you were up to.
Oh yeah, 37 times or so.
Yeah, probably.
You were getting very RMGM horny.
I mean, I know you like trades.
Yeah.
Rumors. Mine is very, very easy because I'm a child at heart. I'm a child in a middle-aged body, I guess. My Will Hawk Hot Performer of the week is my favorite band of all time, Blink-182. 2 fresh songs yesterday, and they were both fucking slapping.
This is why I'm hot because I'm fly. You ain't because you not.
I gotta bring it up. The cold performer that I was gonna use was gonna be Cole Sillinger.
Oh, for making you feel old as shit?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That was.
I saw that. Yeah, I read that out in the office yesterday. I'm like, oh my Lord. I watched Taylor Hall growing up.
I thought it was going to be
I was
Cole
gonna
Sillinger
say-
for cheating on Tate McRae, which led to the release of her new music video called Greed or something, where she's on a Zamboni.
Who?
Exactly.
That's also how I felt about that when he told me about this yesterday. I was like, all right, diss tracks about Cole Sillinger. I'm into it, I guess.
His ex-girlfriend is a pop star. And she's really not taking the breakup well.
Well,
She's going T-Swift.
yeah, dude, I mean, it works for Taylor Swift. You go write about all your exes. That's what I've learned. I've got songs written about all of them. Just nobody wants to hear them. Except me. Right, Liam?
Oh, this is straight up at this dude.
Oh yeah, she's wearing a blue jacket in the video.
Yeah, sure it is.
I wish he would have gone as far as to be like one of those practice jerseys you get that's the exact Blue Jackets colors, just no logo.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That would have been hilarious. Anyway, the last thing I want to mention before we wrap it up is there is a Nation Gear sale on right meow. And I'm telling you that inventory is running out on a bunch of that stuff. So you can get 50% off shirts, 25% off hoodies and hats. Go to nationgear.ca and grab what you can while you can, because they're going. They are going. With that, we're going to wrap up the Friday episode of Oilers Nation Radio. We are 2 weeks from coming back to twice a week.
So close.
Very, very close.
And then when do we go hit the YouTube?
Then
2 weeks.
2 weeks? October, what is it? I have I'll have a unveil for that day.
You'll be, that thing from yesterday.
Yeah, the thing from yesterday.
I like it.
I'll also be unveiling something.
Ooh.
I don't know yet.
Okay, well,
I won't.
I'm gonna have to unveil
I won't be.
Well, I guess now I got to figure out something to show you.
Yeah.
Bag milk face reveal?
Well, I'll just let you guys see my phone. You know?
Show and tell, first YouTube episode.
I dig it.
All right. There you go. I mean, if you're an audio listener, fuck you. And lastly, just plan your life accordingly to come join us at Century Mile Racetrack and Casino next Friday. It is going to be
a lot of
Oilers Nation Night at the track, and I'm excited about it. You'll meet Tyler. You'll meet Liam. Don't talk to Liam, but you can meet him.
You'll confuse him. Don't do it.
Do not make eye contact with
You're
him.
like,
Or I'll mute you.
I ask you, if you're listening to this podcast, go through your interactions with Liam.
Yeah.
Is there a point where they just cut off for you? I got an idea what happened. We'll figure that out on the next episode, maybe. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.
I'll end the StreamYard. Send the audio. Boy,
Is there some